Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm Duke Silver. Today we are going to be playing some Trophy Hunter, and yeah, this one is a little bit spicy, so I was excited to get this one uploaded. And yeah, we start off with the Shrink there, just because we don't think that we can beat Potion Master on turn 1. If they hit like a shard or something, just generally they're going to be able to outstat you pretty much no matter what. But we do beat the Piper on 2.1, which is great. Yeah, the combat just works out nicely there, and Baby Root just generally makes value trading relatively easy in the early games. So honestly, I think Baby Root may be a little bit underrated on the early turns here. Okay, so Fates took a Fated Crafty here, and they tripled it this turn. And yeah, the egg we took to hopefully reduce some damage ends up getting eaten, and we don't reduce any damage on that turn. So that feels pretty bad. We get our egg cracked as well as take a bunch of damage. So pretty unfortunate, but fortunately we got the shrinks for her econ here, so we're not like too far behind even after that egg crack. We get a Lonely Prince triple, which we take a pretty easy Monster Manual out of. Monster Manual, just a phenomenal Trophy Hunter treasure, because like pretty much everything that you want to take is a monster. Also, we had a monster in the shop with the Ogre Princess, so that works out really nicely here. We're just gonna take a roll. We don't care too much about the William pair there. We're going to take a Cindy, as there's still a couple level 2 treasures that we would be happy to take. We take the free roll just to get some progress on Cindy, and we find a Vampire. 3.1 Vampire, obviously not ideal, but because we have Monster Manual, I think it's a little bit better here. Little bit better than average anyways. We get the Slay, but we do take it to big hit. I mean, against Fallen Angel, you kind of expect to take hits in the early game, so... But I mean, being down to 19 here on 3.2... definitely not the spot you want to be. We are on the brink of I mean, if you go into 4.0 after with another big hit, like you're just in major trouble. We end up finishing our Cindy here with a cantrip plus a Genie's Wish, and yeah, we get a Curse Throne to go with our Monster Manual, which is fantastic. Also, there's a Romeo in the shop, so we can add a 5th Royal to our board, effectively adding a 6th monster. So 6 monsters on our board with Monster Manual is really nice here. Also, of course, Romeo does have the Last Breath ability, so it technically has a Slay ability of its own. So if we can get something that cares about having Slay abilities, like a Bad Moon or a Bounty Board, then we can really go to town. Also, we find Juliet plus another Romeo on our 4.0 shop. So like I said, this one gets a little bit spicy, and this is the spice I was talking about. We got the Curse Throne Monster Manual combo with Romeo and Juliet, and yeah, being able to consistently slay with these Romeos with this ever increasing power and toughness from the Curse Throne, as well as the power from the Monster Manual, is again very spicy. As you see, we get our first slay there with Romeo, summoning a couple of Juliets. Juliets can still slay, of course. And then one more slay with the Romeo there, and when the Romeo on 5 slays, putting 2 Juliets into play, that means like we're pretty likely to get the second attack with Romeo as well. Speaking of Romeos, though, we get to triple our Romeo. Unfortunately, we don't find Bad Moon or Cloak here. Bad Moon and Cloak, I mean, of course, or Treasure Map is the only things that we really want here. I mean, I suppose like a Power Orb or something might go nicely, or like a Sting. But those are the ideal treasures, and we don't find those. We just take a skip. None of those treasures really help us, and then we pick up another Romeo, because we might as well. And I mean, with the 22 power golden Romeo here, we're feeling pretty good about our spot. Like I said, we dropped in 19 super early, but now we are kind of dominating combats. And yeah, it's not particularly close. Summon another Juliet there. Summoning between 3 and 4 Juliets a fight here is pretty good. I consider the Arthur, but I don't think that's the way we want to go. We do have a couple of Golden Royals, but it's already 5. We're already on 5. Like we would just like to find Baba Yaga. Although Baba Yaga, like this might be one of the few like Trophy Hunter boards that doesn't really care that much about Baba Yaga, because that delays our Romeo attacks on the back line. And our Friendly Spirit like is gaining stats, so like we would still take it, but like yeah, the Friendly Spirit stats aren't increasing that fast here. Not compared to our Royal stats, anyways. You can see our Romeo up to 28 power now. We get a free Neon here, which is fantastic. And there's that Baba Yaga, and we're just gonna get rid of this golden Lonely Prince. Like, it's a decent size, but we just don't care that much. And we are gonna put it in 5 here, and put it behind the Friendly Spirit, hoping the Friendly Spirit stats go onto the Juliet, because then the Juliet gets resummoned with those extra stats, of course. Also, Queen's Grace there for for some extra stats. We are against probably a pretty strong Fates board, so we do have to worry about that. We held these familiars for a long time, hoping for a bounty board here. Unfortunately, it was not bounty board or Hermes boots. But we're just gonna take the Fountain of Youth. It's gonna give us +1/+1 here, and yeah, we're gonna sell a couple things and end the Nian here. That's gonna send us right to 6 next turn, and yeah, like, I mean, like, they're like the level or the support treasures are good. Like an Evil Eye or a Horn would be really nice, but I figured getting some extra health just in case, and also being able to go right to 6 was just a little bit more valuable. Again, once again, our overwhelming amount of Juliet just clean up the board here. So yeah, now we would love to find a good boy nice and early. Without a way to scale it. Like, I mean, good boy isn't a monster, but like, it's a little bit awkward. We're gonna take a second Friendly Spirit. We would definitely triple it still. And it's gonna keep accumulating some monster manual stats, and then eventually, if we can combine these Friendly Spirits, that is gonna matter. Unfortunately, we don't get any slays here. So, but I mean, the size of our Juliet is still just big enough to beat top board Fallen Angel there. I'm not gonna bother with 3 pairs at this point. We're just a little bit beyond that. I mean, like, we would take more Romeos. Like, if we saw a pair of Romeos, I would definitely take that. We fired off the Beauty's Influence onto the Baba, and we get this very good shop here. Oni Tyrant, sorry, is another one I should have mentioned that we were definitely looking for. So we're gonna take that, but I think we're gonna triple the Friendly Spirit here first. Just gonna give us a really nice power spike. We're gonna try and knock out Zip. I mean, Oni Tyrant also gives us a nice power spike, but again, with those monster manual stats and combined together on that golden Friendly Spirit, I think it was relatively likely to slay, but unfortunately it did not, because they did have a very large hippo there. Although, fortunately for us, once again we get to summon our very large Juliets. We don't get to slay with the second Romeo, but it's still enough to knock Zippy down to 2. And we took a Krampus Slay just because we're feeling so strong. And we could take a second Curse Throne here, and I did consider it just because I thought it would be entertaining. But I mean, Mimic does the same thing, and then at least we get the value from the monster manual, and we get to mimic something else later on. So we didn't go for the second Curse Throne, unfortunately. Although if we could have gotten 2 Curse Thrones and a Mimic, I don't know, that would be... Just the idea of having 2 of the same treasure Mimic is kind of funny to me. We're going to take a Lancelot here, and as long as Lancelot gets to attack, it's going to get +13/+13 from the Oni Tyrant, which unfortunately does get scammed, but thankfully the Friendly Spirit does slay and puts the stats onto the Lance, so we still get the Lance treasure either way. And yeah, this Romeo also caught one of the Friendly Spirit buffs, allowing it to slay. And yeah, the resummon Juliet, again, just too much for the opponent to take, although fights are getting closer. But with this Lance treasure, we get an Evil Eye. So Mimicked Evil Eye with this Baba Yaga is fantastic here. We're just going to jam Hermes Magic Beans. Attacking first is super valuable to us. There's another Oni Tyrant, which we are going to take. I think we're actually going to cut this Lance too. I mean, just having extra Romeos on the board is just a lot more valuable. And yeah, the second Oni Tyrant, of course, is going to facilitate a lot of extra slays. And if our Juliet gets to attack with the Oni Tyrants in play, then getting resummoned with all those stats is phenomenal. And there we go. We get the Juliet attack with both Oni Tyrants, and the Friendly Spirit buff goes onto the Romeo. If we'd had board space, we would have been able to summon a large Juliet. I mean, I guess if Juliet had died specifically. So the fact that it hadn't, even if we had board space, I guess it doesn't resummon. And there's that good boy, but it's far too late, and it's just not going to be good enough for our board here. We finally get to triple our Juliet. It's been quite a while. There's a reduplicator as well, which is like kind of interesting. I could honestly cut the the Evil Eye and just go for like a full like Juliet comp. Like having a Mimic Reduplicator, we could summon a ton of Juliets, but I figured instead just relying on the or as long as we can get this Friendly Spirits slay, like the Mimic Evil Eye is gonna do probably more than just some extra Juliets would, especially if we don't get that, if we don't get the Friendly Spirit slay. And the opponent just has a bunch of tokens. They do have a Mimic Phoenix Feather though that we do have to contend with. But this, I mean, the size of our leftover units here, thanks to the Friendly Spirit and resummon Juliets, is just yeah, still just way too much for them. We still have a golden Romeo left over, and yeah, we had a lot of reserve power left. All right, probably last fight. We are going to take an Empress P though. I mean, Empress P is still pretty phenomenal. We're going to sell this Lance. We can triple our Baba. Nothing here that we want. I mean, the treasures that we have are pretty ideal at this point. But yeah, if we can attack with this Empress P, it's going to get, of course, the Oni Tyrant buffs, and yeah, with the Mimic Evil Eye with the Golden Baba now, like that could matter. We do get our Romeo scammed, which is really unfortunate. But we do get to attack and slay with our Friendly Spirit, and Friendly Spirit just puts a ton of stats on the rest of our board. So now it just comes down to whether this pumpkin produces enough scam to be able to beat us. They do get one more Medusa attack, but again, that's not quite enough. Yeah, and we take down the win here. So yeah, this was a pretty spicy one. It was a lot of fun to play. I mean, you never really see a Romeo and Juliet this powerful, so that was really novel and fun. But yeah, let me know what you thought of it. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff that helps the algorithm. I'd very, very much appreciate that. And yeah, I hope you all have a great rest of your day as always, and I will see you tomorrow.